Now, 7 weather with meteorologist Vivian Gonzalez.
Good morning, South Florida. We're off to a cool-ish start. Definitely the chill is not present, but it's still cool enough for us to wear maybe a light jacket. You'll be putting it away later today. Right now it's 62 in West Kendall, 65 in Miami, Pompano Beach, Fort Lauderdale reporting 66, 63 in Pembroke Pines, Key West the warmest spot at 69. And here's a look at the winds out of the north, 7 to 9 miles per hour. The humidity at 73%. On the radar, it's mostly dry and will continue mostly dry over the next several days. High pressure will be the dominant feature, stretching from the Gulf into the Atlantic. We're going to get more of an onshore flow, so that's what's going to moderate temperatures back to warmer values. But today we're going to call it pleasant. Temperatures will climb into the upper 70s in the afternoon hours. 77's the forecast high for Miami. Tomorrow's looking great. We'll have a cool-ish start, and then we'll have a warmer finish with highs at about 80 degrees. So getting closer to where we should be for this time of year, even heading into the upcoming weekend with a nice onshore flow. Now, if you're headed to the beach, want to go out on your boat, it's actually looking better in this department today. Moderate rip current risk at area beaches, but there are no advisories for small craft operators. Northeast winds today, 10 to 15 knots, seas building 2 to 5 feet, and Biscayne Bay will be at a moderate chop. For the Florida Keys, it's choppy here due to the wind and seas still, so there's an exercise caution. Seas inside the reef building 2 to 3 feet. 4 to 6 foot seas beyond the reef. And we're going to get a low tide change next at 8:50 in Fort Lauderdale, 8:59 in Miami, and at 10:42 in Key West. Over the weekend, water temperatures were at about 80 degrees down to 75, so it's cooled down a great deal. So today we're going to call it a great one with patchy clouds. Temperatures in the upper 70s between 77 and 78 degrees. Tonight, lows will be in the low 60s around mainland South Florida, mid to upper 60s for the Florida Keys. We'll have even fewer clouds and feeling coolish overnight. Your extended outlook does call for near average temperatures between Friday and Saturday. It does look like over the weekend, especially for the second half, we're going to start to warm up even more. Even though it will be mainly dry, it'll feel more humid across the region. We're only introducing a chance of seeing a stray shower on the breeze by the middle part of the week. And that's your 7 on 7.
Now, 7 weather with meteorologist Vivian Gonzalez.
Good morning, South Florida. We are waking up to fewer clouds, and that's what's actually allowed some temperatures to cool down even more to start off. For some of you, upper 50s, low 60s will warrant for you to wear a light sweater or jacket. Do so. Parents, make sure that the kids are prepared accordingly as they're going to be heading out to school. Right now, at least you don't have to worry about rain, and at least measurable rain isn't in the forecast for several days now. And as far as temperatures are concerned, 60s for the most part. We zoom into Broward County, 65 in Fort Lauderdale, Lauderdale by the Sea. Then we look at Davie and Plantation down to 61, 62 in Pembroke Pines. Northern Miami-Dade, Opelika at 64, North Miami 62. Doral 64, but Coral Gables down to 60 degrees, and this is where we have some 50s in southern Miami-Dade. 58 in West Kendall, Redlands 59 in South Miami. Florida Keys, widespread 60s here, Isla Mirada 65, 68 in Key West, with the wind along the east coast out of the northwest, but it'll be mainly out of the northeast for today. So we're going to have pleasant sunshine, high temperatures, just a tad warmer than yesterday in the upper 70s. We look ahead into the upcoming weekend, and we'll actually have some coolish starts continuing with warmer afternoons into the lower 80s, back to where we should be for this time of year. But it's just going to be absolutely gorgeous with mostly sunny skies and dry conditions, since high pressure will be the dominant feature, stretching from the Gulf into the Atlantic. But no fronts yet are in the forecast that will eventually cross through across the region. Now, quick check in on the tropics. We have Nothing that we're watching for development at this time. Your boating forecast looks okay. There's just a moderate rip current risk at area beaches. Winds out of the northeast today will range between 10 and 15 knots, seas building 2 to 3 feet. For the Florida Keys, there's still an exercise caution. Wind and seas are set to go down. So right now, looking at coastal waters, choppy, decreasing to a moderate chop later today. And the next tide cycle is going to be low tide, 9:49 in Fort Lauderdale. Look for highs in the upper 70s with more sunshine for sure, so that's going to warm things up. Tonight's lows upper 60s to about 70 degrees with very few clouds, but looking fantastic for the upcoming weekend. Still quiet next week, turning breezy by midweek. And that's your 7 on 7.
Now, 7 weather with meteorologist Vivian Gonzalez.
Good morning, South Florida. Hopefully everyone is off to a great start. We're waking up to mostly clear skies and a coolish one out there, so you may need to sport around a light sweater or jacket, and then in the afternoon safely putting them away with seasonable temperatures expected in the lower 80s. So right now, if you're heading outside the door this morning, it is quiet out there, very dry. We won't have to worry about rain anytime soon, but let's get you out the door and show you what it's like. It's 64 in Fort Lauderdale, 62 in Sunrise to 57 in Davie, 58 in Plantation to 60 in Weston. In northern Miami-Dade, temperature readings here 50s and 60s. North Miami at 59, 58 in Coral Gables. Downtown Miami up to 67, and that's because we've had a little more cloud cover overnight in your area. Heading south into West Kendall, it's 59, 56 in the Redlands, and at one point you were at 55. We have the 60s for the most part in the Keys, 67 in Key West with the wind out of the northwest, and that will change heading into our Tuesday. So we're expecting it to be a gorgeous one today. High pressure, the dominant feature pretty much all week long. Tomorrow, the winds start to veer more out of the northeast in the afternoon, signaling a change. So the area of high pressure in the Gulf will get replaced by another one that will be settling in around the mid-Atlantic states, and that will allow more of an onshore flow. So temperatures will be 2-3 degrees above normal in the mornings and in the afternoons, but it will be turning breezy and will introduce a chance of seeing us passing sprinkles. So a new area of high pressure will take over midweek, and that one will be the dominant one through the upcoming weekend. And then we're going to be paying close attention to a system brewing now around the west coast of the United States, because it will be moving into the nation's midsection that will likely down the road change our weather pattern. No boating advisories are in effect. Seas building 1 to 2 feet for the Florida Keys. No advisories here. Seas inside and beyond the reef building at least up to a foot. And the next tide cycle, that's going to be high tide coming up at 8:27 this morning in Key West. So highs today between 78 and 82 degrees. We'll have bright sunshine, a very light breeze. Heading into tonight, clear, maybe some patchy inland fog, lows in the upper 60s, but certainly not as cool as this morning. But we look ahead into Wednesday and the weekend, slightly above average, but still very nice and quiet here in South Florida. And that's your 7 on 7.